She looked at the woman who had been her sister and said,
I never meant to hurt you.
I hated who I had become. I hated that I could not look at your life without measuring my own against it. And I destroyed you because I could not destroy the feeling.
Sometimes the most painful betrayals don't come from enemies. They come from the people who once celebrated your victories. The ones who held your hand, wiped your tears, and swore they would love you no matter what. They come from the people who once screamed your name the loudest until your success became a mirror, reflecting everything they believed they lacked. This is not a story about a villain. This is a story about two ordinary women, a friendship that felt unbreakable, and the quiet, devastating power of comparison. Their names were Amara and Sonia, and when they first met, neither of them had anything but each other. It was the opening week of university, that chaotic, terrifying stretch when everyone is pretending to be more confident than they are. Amara arrived with 2 suitcases, a scholarship, and a prayer. Sonia arrived with a duffel bag, a borrowed fan, and a box of noodles her mother had packed just in case. By some stroke of fate or perhaps divine humor, they were assigned the same room. That first night, they lay in the dark and talked until 3 a.m. about their families, about the pressure, about what they hoped their lives would look like someday. Neither of them slept. Neither of them wanted to. By the end of that first week, everyone on the floor already knew. If you saw one, the other wasn't far behind. 4 years of university did what 4 years will do to people who go through it together. It bonded them in ways that are hard to explain to anyone who hasn't experienced it. They shared textbooks. They shared the last of their data. They shared meals when money ran out, which was often. They cried over grades, over boys, over phone calls from home that left them feeling both loved and suffocated. They were there for everything. And the promise they made was simple. When one of us makes it, she takes the other with her, always. By graduation, people stopped calling them friends. They called them sisters. The job offer felt like a miracle. Not just because the company was prestigious, it was. Not just because the salary was more than either of their fathers had ever earned in a single year, it was that too. The real miracle was that they both got in. Same company, same cohort, same start date. They celebrated for 3 days. Those early months at the company were everything they had imagined. They commuted together, arrived together, sat in orientation side by side, whispering jokes under their breath when the HR presentations dragged on. They had lunch together every day. They texted each other from across the same open plan office. They were living the dream and they both knew it. Then the work started. And work has a way of showing you who people are. Amara was quiet in meetings, not because she had nothing to say. She was quiet because she was listening, absorbing, processing. And when she finally spoke, people stopped and paid attention. Because what came out was always precise, always thoughtful, always exactly right. Her work ethic was the kind that doesn't announce itself. She simply stayed until things were done correctly. She simply never cut corners. She simply cared. Within 18 months, Amara received her first promotion. The night it was announced, Sonia hugged her so hard it looked painful. She bought a small cake. She posted about it on her status. She was, by every visible measure, genuinely happy for her friend. And in that moment, she truly was. But something shifted, quietly. The way a small crack forms in a wall, invisible at first, easy to ignore, except cracks don't heal on their own. Months passed, then a year, then another round of promotions. Amara's name was on the list, Sonia's was not. Again. Now understand something. Amara never once forgot her promise. Every single time a project came up that she could influence, she mentioned Sonia's name. She mentored her behind closed doors. She reminded managers of Sonia's contributions. She advocated, nudged, and pushed in ways that Sonia never even knew about. The support was real, the effort was genuine, but outcomes are not always proportional to effort. Sometimes people grow at different speeds. Sometimes the skills that matter most in a corporate environment are not the ones you studied in school. Sometimes it just takes longer. That truth, however, is very hard to hold on to when your parents call every Sunday to ask why your friend is a manager and you are still waiting for your shot. Sonia's mother had a gift for unintentional cruelty. But you and Amara started the same day, didn't you? She's moving so fast. What is she doing that you are not doing? The kind of question that sounds like concern but lands like an accusation. The colleagues were worse. Office politics always produces a type of person who finds entertainment in other people's discomfort. Someone started referring to Sonia within earshot as Amara's assistant. Someone else called her the shadow. People laughed. Not everyone, but enough. Sonia started to spend less time eating lunch with Amara. She told herself it was because she was busy. She told herself she just needed space to grow independently. But if she were honest, and she was trying very hard not to be, the truth was that sitting next to Amara had started to feel like sitting next to an indictment of everything she hadn't become yet. Then Amara met someone. His name was David, and he was the kind of man who made everyone around him feel like the most important person in the room. He loved Amara openly, without apology. He planned thoughtful surprises. He remembered small details. He treated Sonia from the very first introduction like family. The engagement was announced over dinner, the three of them, at a small restaurant they used to go to in their university town. David had driven 3 hours so the proposal could happen somewhere meaningful. Sonia was there. She held Amara's hand while she cried happy tears. She took the photos. And that night, driving home alone, something inside Sonia caved. It was not one thing. That is rarely how it works. It was the accumulation. Every overlooked promotion, every careless comparison, every lunch she had skipped, every time someone had called her the shadow. It was watching Amara be handed the career and the man and the future while she felt stuck, invisible and forgotten. And the worst part, the part she would never say aloud, was that Amara had done nothing wrong, nothing. That almost made it worse. When jealousy reaches a certain depth, it stops feeling like jealousy. It starts to feel like clarity, like evidence. Like Sonia had finally seen a truth that she had been too loyal, too naive to acknowledge before. Surely Amara's rise had something to do with her own stagnation. Surely the attention Amara absorbed left none for Sonia. Surely, somehow, the equation was unfair. She told herself a story. People always do, before they do something they know is wrong. She spent weeks learning what she needed to learn. She was careful. She was meticulous, the way she had never been in her actual work. She manipulated financial records, small discrepancies spread across multiple accounts, designed to look like a pattern of diversion over time. She sent anonymous emails that raised concerns, planted seeds of doubt, cited figures that could not be easily dismissed. By the time the investigation was opened, the evidence was devastatingly convincing. Amara was suspended pending review. Her promotion was frozen. Her access was revoked. And in the most painful twist, David, blindsided by the scandal and the whisper campaign that followed, pulled back from the wedding. Not because he stopped believing in her, because she asked him to give her space to fight this alone. And in that space, they lost each other. For months, Amara sat in the ruin of a life she had built piece by piece, unable to understand how it had collapsed so completely. Sonia watched from a distance, and the moment the plan worked, the moment the thing she had done produced the result she had engineered, she felt not relief, but a horror so deep it stole the air from the room. She had not felt satisfaction. She had felt like herself finally and hated what she saw. Cybersecurity audits are relentless,
thorough, and patient in a way that human guilt never quite is. 6 months after the investigation began, the company's forensic team found what they were not originally looking for: login anomalies at hours Amara could not have accessed the system, deleted files with recovery trails, and footage, ordinary corridor camera footage that placed Sonia at a workstation on a night she had claimed she was out of town. The truth came apart quickly once it started unraveling. Sonia was called into a room she walked out of without a job, without a reference, and without the ability to look anyone in the building in the eye. Every person who had ever smirked at Amara's expense now directed that same energy somewhere new. The office is small that way. It always has been. Amara was cleared fully, formally, publicly. She returned to the company to a standing ovation from her team, the kind of moment that is cinematic precisely because it is earned. Within a year, she was promoted to senior leadership. She rebuilt her career with the same quiet discipline that had built it the first time. The wedding never happened with David. That wound stayed. Some things that break don't fully mend. But Amara rebuilt herself around the shape of what remained, and she was, in time, okay. Sonia reached out 3 years later. One message, careful, brief. She asked if Amara would meet her just once. They sat across from each other at a coffee shop, not the one from university, not anywhere that held memory, somewhere neutral, somewhere that belonged to neither of them. Sonia did not make excuses. She had rehearsed plenty on the way there and abandoned all of them outside the door. She looked at the woman who had been her sister and said, "I never actually hated you. I hated who I had become. I hated that I could not look at your life without measuring my own against it. And I destroyed you because I could not destroy the feeling." Amara listened. She did not cry, which surprised them both. She said, "I forgive you. I mean that. But forgiveness is mine to give. Trust is something you broke, and that belongs to both of us. I can't come back to a friendship built on what happened between us." They walked out of the coffee shop and into separate lives. Both of them were crying before they reached their cars.
Here is what nobody tells you about comparison. It does not announce itself as destruction. It arrives quietly, dressed as ambition or realism or self-awareness. It tells you that you are simply being honest with yourself, that you are only measuring, that you deserve to know where you stand. And then it waits. It waits until the person you love most becomes the yardstick you use to measure your own inadequacy. And once that happens, once someone else's joy becomes evidence of your failure, you are no longer in a friendship. You are in a competition that only one of you knows you are playing. Sonia did not lose to Amara. She lost to the version of herself that could not survive comparison. And that is a loss that no promotion, no betrayal, and no revenge could ever fix. Amara did not win because life was easy for her. She won because she never stopped fighting, not even when the person who helped tear her down was the same person who once held her hand in the dark and talked until 3 a.m. about everything they hoped their lives would someday look like. So, the next time you feel that familiar sting, watching someone you love get what you are waiting for, pause before you let it settle into something bitter. Ask yourself, am I happy for them, or am I hollowed out by the distance between their life and mine? And if the answer is the second thing, be honest about it. Talk to someone. Talk to yourself. Sit with the discomfort instead of turning it outward. Because the most painful betrayals in this life don't come from enemies. They come from the people who once screamed your name the loudest. And they almost always begin with a single, quiet, unspoken thought. Why them and not me? Don't let that question make a monster out of you. If you enjoyed this story, like, share, comment, and follow us for more stories with amazing moral lessons.